Hello friends, welcome back to Craig and Holly on Wheels.
Well, and Rob and Julie and Paul and Chantel and Ian and Craig. Now, you might have guessed already from our outfits just where we are. Indeed, it is Munich, Germany, and we are at
Oktoberfest!
So, as we mentioned at the tail end of our last episode, we've tucked the van away for the winter, but we've traded it in for a pair of backpacks, and we're off on a new set of adventures here in the coming weeks. And so different, we're going to call this Season 2 of Craig and Holly on Wheels. And where do we launch off to first?
We started with Germany. So we booked our flights from Ottawa to Toronto to Munich, and we kicked everything off with 6 other friends for Oktoberfest. This was a trip we had planned kind of before COVID, and then had to delay things, and we got lucky. Most of us were able to make it, and so we got this trip into Germany. And thank you, Craig, for booking the coveted reservations at Oktoberfest tents. We got 2 of those, so really good time in Munich.
So that we got ourselves bookings at 2 different tents 2 days in a row. Each of the tents seats, this was just a miracle of organization, really, to watch how this all operates. Each of those tents seated over 6,500 beer drinkers, and you get your ticket for anywhere from about 3-hour slots to about a 5-hour slot. And so we got a couple of those in and joined, 6,500 other folks that were there to have a good time and drink some beer.
There's a number of tents. They're all pretty neat inside, and they seem kind of similarly run. You have some food options, some beer options, a big band usually in the middle of the tent that is a lot of fun and kind of gets the crowd going. So really kind of neat setup. As well, all around the tents, they kind of have a whole grounds with a midway, with outside seating, with kind of food options and a bunch of different things, including one of our favorite attractions.
So when I first got looking on YouTube at Oktoberfest and the attractions, you'll come upon the Devil's Wheel. We get into this tent to watch, so this is a bit of a last person standing. Everybody piles onto the wheel, whether it's like kids between 7 and 12 or men over 50 or whatever it is. And the objective is to be the last person remaining on the wheel and to last as long as you can. So I've got a little montage. We ducked in and watched a few rounds of the Devil's Wheel.
Outside of Oktoberfest, there's still lots to see in Munich. So we did get around Munich, we did get downtown, we got into some of the restaurants and the beer halls downtown. There's kind of a couple old ones that we made it to. We did a bit of a touring around for the day and had a good time.
We get back down to the old town there to see the Glockenspiel at 11 a.m. every morning. It goes off, so all the tourists were there to watch that go round. While we were down there, we also did a tour of the Munich residence, the palace down in the old town, which had all kinds of ornate woodwork and gold trim. I think my main inspiration here was when I do have to go back to the office, I'd like to have a new desk, and I drew some inspiration from these. I should probably get a hold of my boss. It probably takes a while to order one of these desks, but I think I'd like something a little more like this in my workspace. So that just about wraps it up for this episode. We'll keep it brief, but we'll leave you with a few pro tips if you're thinking of going to Munich Oktoberfest.
First off, I'd say think about this in advance. It's a very popular event. It's a big event worldwide. So number one, book your hotel way in advance. I think we did it about a year in advance.
I think so.
And we booked at the Brack Hotel based on a friend of Craig's that recommended this. This was a great stay, minutes from the Oktoberfest site. We could walk or take the metro everywhere. Second tip, metro is super great way to get around, cheap. You can use the train to get to the metro from the airport. Everything worked really smoothly. And I think the third thing I would say is you don't necessarily need reservations. Definitely that helps 100%, but if you can't get reservations and you're just a small number, get there early. There seems to be a bit more room earlier in the day, as well as there's some outdoor areas and kind of the old Oktoberfest that you pay about €4 or €5 to get into, and that has a little bit more room.
Especially if there's only a couple of you traveling. I would say if you're a big group, your probably best idea is to book well in advance and get your tickets. It was fun that your ticket came with 1 or 2 beers. You get a voucher for that, and a voucher for a half a chicken, which you could actually put towards other stuff on the menu. Worth mentioning that the food, both at the Oktoberfest tents and all around town, was really, really good. So it was just a really great first stop. I think my final pro tip is go with friends. We had a blast there with half a dozen of our pals. It was really nice to finally get this trip in the books with them, and a really great way to kick off this current leg of our adventures. Do we give away at all where we're headed next? Maybe the background will tell you?
Yeah. Next up, we move from beer to wine, and from rain to more rain and a little bit of sunshine.
We've got a couple friends coming with us on this leg. Come back next time. We'll be in Portugal.